Now, first she helped us quit sugar and now she's here to help us survive the end of civilization. Would you please welcome the best-selling author and podcaster, Sarah Wilson. We say the end of civilization because you do talk a lot about society collapsing. Is it as scary as it sounds?
Yes, it can be. I do believe there is a gift to it all. But let's just say I don't get invited to as many dinner parties as I used to.
I would be more worried if I invited you and then you didn't RSVP, which says, well, that's it. It's happening. It's happening tomorrow.
Pack the bags, kids. Yeah. It's something that I've been looking into for 3 years or so. It isn't something Australians are talking about. And I do think it's because we're comfortable, we're an affluent country. There is a cost of living crisis going on, of course. But relatively speaking, in Europe, which is where I'm based now, this is something that's talked about. Collapsology is a topic that's discussed on morning television. And there's these two hot collapsologists that go about the place. They've written some books. And the #1 best-selling book in France 2 years ago was about this subject. So it is something that everybody is starting to talk about.
OK, collapsologist sounds like a made-up job. Like, like comedian. What is a collapsologist and what is collapsology?
Yeah.
And can you collapse that into a very concise answer?
It's a hard one because it is pretty much everything. So we're familiar with the climate crisis. That is one system. We also have a population system, we have an energy system, we have food and water systems. And essentially that makes up a civilization. Throughout history, civilizations, all complex civilizations have collapsed. So if you think of the Roman Empire, the Mayan Empire, and so on, that is what is happening to our civilization, which is the post-industrial civilization. We've just got too complicated and it hits the top of a bell curve and comes back down the other side. And this has been modelled around the world as something that is happening now, and we're feeling it. We're feeling things getting worse.
Don't you think every generation thinks that the world's about to end? Like if you were, if you were around in 1945, you'd be like, it's over.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
2000 was the same, right?
2000 same. Yeah. Y2K, we're all like, it's. I mean, we were partying, but we also thought it's probably over. You know, isn't what makes today so different?
Yeah, it's a really good point, and you're right. The difference is it's not some hunchback with a vibe, right, that's telling us this. This is modelling that is being done in research institutes. And sometimes what I say to people is go and speak to an insurance agent. They'll give you the real perspective on all of this. So climate, people are talking about it. The nuclear doomsday clock, which is a thing, it tracks how close we are to nuclear threat. It's just ticked even closer to midnight. So we're now, I think, 89 seconds from midnight.
Oh, wow.
There are several food bowls around the world that probably have 1 or 2 years before they collapse. But even population. We thought that we'd hit a peak population of around 10 billion at the end of this century. That's now been brought forward to about 2040. So we've been growing since 1800, and we're going to come back down the other side and experience decline. And it's something we can't change.
So what do we do? Panic. Stand on one leg.
But you said that there was a gift. You said there was a gift to be learnt from all of this. So
look, it's hard to wrap it up, but what I would say is I think a lot of people are feeling that this cannot continue. We are trying to live in a world of infinite growth on a finite planet. That doesn't make sense, not in any realm. But that's what we've been doing, and we're hitting the edge of planetary boundaries. We've overpassed 6, I should say, of the 9 planetary boundaries.
But what about renewable energies and things that can be,
I mean, it's such a great question, and it was a realm that I was in as a climate activist for many years, but we've missed the deadlines. And basically, the renewable energy industry, and this is not carried favour in sort of climate circles back here in Australia, it's actually using up more energy to produce these renewable sort of wind farms and solar panels, but equally the rare earth minerals. So cobalt and lithium, they are now being sort of mined by small children in the Congo as well. This is stuff we're not talking about because it's a really hard thing to fathom. Yeah. We can't fix it.
So if it's happening now, what do we do? Yeah.
Is it bunker time?
Bunker time. Do you have a bunker?
No. And what I would say to that, the tech bros out there are building bunkers in New Zealand. That's what we all know about. But what I would say to people is that, all right, you can stockpile your tinned corn and your tinned tomatoes, but are you prepared to defend it when things go down and get really tough? I'm not. Wow. So what the science shows is the best way that you can exist with all of this.
Crossbow training.
Well, you know what? I say to people, if you've got children, send them to Scouts. Like, actually learning really fundamental life skills.
Tying knots and dobbing is not going to help when you're talking about Scouts.
I bet you learned how to light a fire, though.
No.
I bet you learned how to light a fire.
No.
But building bunkers is not the solution.
Okay.
Building community and basically learning how to live with less technology, simplifying. So really what collapse is a simplification. And so we're going to have to undo that complexity, all of that intricacy, all of that growth. It's going to simplify it. So it's going to happen over a course of time. It's not going to happen overnight, I don't think. Some people say otherwise. But
Just get me through the weekend for Star Wars Day. Susie's had her birthday, and then we'll be good to go. For details, you'll be presenting at the Melbourne Writers' Festival. You can head to our website. Please thank Sarah Wilson.